into video at the same time. Tasha is standing at the man gate, wondering, should I go out? She's a little uncertain. All other bears are in. Holly has not been released. Sharon is at the man gate. Tasha did a slight bluff charge. We think Ted is a little concerned about what's going on. One of our interns is going to pull Ted. We're trying to pull Ted from his corner. And I'm going to go off mic a little bit. And we're going to go into Ted's enclosure and try to work Ted away from the corner, which is closest to where we're attempting to release Tasha. Well, this is JT back on mic again. Tasha is thinking about going out the side man gate, but she's not sure. We're going to go off mic and rethink this. Tasha seems to be hesitant about leaving her enclosure. I'll be back on mic as soon as I have more to report. This is JT back on mic. Sharon's in the food shed, getting some different treats for Tasha, and one of them being an orange. She's the only bear that eats an orange here, and that's from her history. We are keenly aware that she does like oranges. But nobody is with Tasha right at the moment. She's got the gate open, but she has chosen not to go through it. You'll be seeing Sharon shortly with an orange and a few other treats for Tasha Bear. Stay on Tasha's Cam at bear.org. Stay on Tasha's Cam. The sunlight should be reasonably good, and you should be able to see her actually right as it happens. So here in a few minutes we'll have an orange and maybe some additional things for Tasha. And of course you can see it right on camera. We have moved Ted a little further away from Tasha's enclosure. Ted is actually, we've got him enticed with a few treats to the far side of Ted's pen. So he's not a distraction to Tasha. And we also have Holly Bear up at the far side of the cabin, again away from Tasha. Sharon has arrived, back with additional food. So stay tuned, and I'm going to go off mic a little bit and see if we can encourage Tasha. It's Judy back on mic. As you can see, Tasha is at her snack bar looking for a treat, but we're not giving her any there. She has to come out of the enclosure. She has to get on the other side of that gate to get a treat. There is a cut-up orange in one of the bowls that Sharon has recently brought. But Tasha's nervous. There is an orange slice about a foot outside the door. And Tasha's not sure if it's worth the risk. I'm going to go off mic again and let you enjoy. JT back on mic. They've been giving Tasha snacks just a little bit to entice her further and further. Right now she's got her front 2 feet. Actually, she's half in the enclosure and half out. And now she's retreated back to the door, but she did have her front 2 paws and her head out. JT on mic. Tasha has just moved into the alleyway. She is out of her enclosure. Pretty historic. Tasha now is outside the back of her enclosure. You probably can still see her on the Tasha cam. Sharon is inside Tasha's enclosure, and Tasha is outside. All other bears are in, and Tasha is moving toward the building, toward the NABC building. She's not moving deeper in, but more parallel to the fence line. This is JT. You can probably see me on cam. I'm now in Tasha's enclosure. And I can actually see her. She's coming back towards Sharon. I'm going to attempt to get some video. Tasha is now moving toward the back side of the... Tasha is on the back side of the cabin where there's thick brush. And of course, Holly is inside the cabin. Tasha right now is actually behind the cabin itself, the cabin structure, the den, the cabin den, exploring. I'm going to move up that way and see if I can tell you what she's doing. Sharon herself is in the alleyway, and I think Sharon's coming out. I'm going to go see if I can find out where she has moved. She is in the open area between the cabin and the bunkers. For those of you that have been to the Bear Center, slightly beyond the cabin, she's actually at the cabin sliding door. where she would enter the cabin if she wanted. And this is the first opportunity she's had to explore alone with no interruptions of the other bears. She actually is, the nose is to the ground, not a surprise. For those of you again that know, Tasha is near that large tree. She's about 5 to 10 feet away from where Holly attempted to dig a den inside the cabin enclosure. Holly does know she's there. Holly is at her door. She's being fed by one of the interns. Holly is, well, she's just more focused on food. And Tasha is walking the perimeter of the cabin enclosure. In the last 10 minutes, Holly is out, and I'm going to give you a rundown again of what's all happened. Excuse me, Tasha is out. Tasha. Oh, I stand corrected. Let me tell you again, it's Tasha that's out in the 2.5 acres. I apologize. Ted is in his chalet, just resting. Holly is just being her sweet self in the cabin. And Lucky is up in the bunkers. You're probably seeing some interns and some folks in the Haven. We're going to clean that place up. The goal right now is we're just going to leave Tasha explore in the large enclosure. Last we saw her, she was between the deeper into the 2.5 acres, behind the cabin, but before the bunkers. We actually do not see her right now, and the decision is to leave her explore for approximately a half hour or so. And at this moment, we are considering leaving Holly out next, unless something happens in the next 30 minutes or so to change our mind. So this is JT signing off for now, and there will be an update at the 11 a.m. broadcast, 1 p.m. broadcast, and of course our 4 p.m. broadcast. So I would encourage any of you that are listening to my voice right now that either myself or Sharon will be on mic. I'm not too sure who right now, because we are going to have our regular programs going on as scheduled to the general public. But we will give you updates at 11, 1, and 4 p.m. for sure. Absolutely, for sure. And I will try to get back on mic in about the time we leave Holly out. And if that decision has changed, I will certainly let you all know. And I also want to thank everybody for getting up early in the morning, for modding, for volunteering, and for assisting us in getting the word out about Tasha's release. Took her a little while, but she's now, the nose is going, and she's hopefully mentally mapping the 2.5 acres. So this is JT signing off for this morning. And as again, I will say one more time, tune in at 11, 1, and 4 on the same station you're on right now. And for further updates on day 1 of Tasha's life in the 2.5 acres here at the North American Bear Center. Thank you, everyone. So Sharon, are you ready for me to turn it over to you to talk about the Tasha adventure of the day? Here we go, Sharon.
Well, good morning, folks. I know that the folks here on the deck probably don't know what we're talking about, but you viewers that were watching this morning saw us open Tasha's many gates. She has 2 man gates, and we tried to coax her out through those, and she probably would have gone out the back gate, but Ted decided that he was going to go back there, and he was just going to lay down and watch all the events and make his gentle grunting sounds, which frightened Tasha, and then she would not go near that door. So we changed our direction and went back to the bear gate and had our gentleman that's working for us now, John Leonard, came out, and he helped us get that latch undone and opened the bear gate. Tasha was very cautious. Holly waited patiently on the other in her cabin den, watching everything. Not doing anything, no vocalizations, just receiving some food and sitting there watching. While she was watching, we were coaxing Tasha with hand foods, of course, and then we went and got her an orange and put that in a bowl, hoping that that would bring her out. As some of you saw, she was using her paw to try to reach stuff and not go outside that enclosure. But eventually, I guess it got too much for her, and then she stepped out, went back in, stepped out again, and then she was free bear. She went into what we call the bear alley, which is the area between the 2 enclosures, Tasha's enclosure and the cabin, which Holly usually resides in. And then from there, she explored a little bit outside within about 20 feet of that area, and then walked all the way around the cabin den, looked at Holly, and Holly looked at her. There was just some brief words between them, a little bit of huffing, not much, and then back around to the other side, and then she was off to just do some exploring on her own. One of our bear educators followed the whole thing and followed her to make sure that she was okay, and she eventually came back around to the cabin den. We said at 9 o'clock that we would let Holly out, and it was probably about maybe 10, 15 minutes after 9 before that happened. When we opened Holly's gate, she walked and smelled where Tasha had been, and then she saw Tasha. The chase began. And they went around the trees, back around the cabin, through the alley, and Tasha went to her safe place, which we were hoping that she would see as her safe place, which was the haven. So being safe in her den, she went behind her den. Holly followed her. With some food enticement and a little bit of water, we got Holly back out of the den, and Tasha immediately went into her little pool, laid down like, now this is just so comforting, thank you. So this morning's exploration was a plus for us. We saw the interaction that we wanted and thought would happen, and we will repeat the process for the next few days until she's safe enough to be out, and then return to her own den when she's called. So I will give you back to JT, and we will go on from there. So thank you all for supporting us and watching us this morning.